utterly shocked that Tiger Woods had an affair on his drop-dead gorgeous wife? Anybody was completely shocked? Yeah, I was shocked too when I heard. I'm like, man, that's just the tabloids. That's not the truth. And all of a sudden, all networks are talking about it. I mean, here's Tiger Woods and his scandal, and all of a sudden he's coming, 3-4 months later on, and said, "I am so sorry." But did you? I don't know if you caught that. All the funny people like Jay Leno and everybody, they kind of picked up on it. He's here at his podium. And then he's like, hey, I know you guys are mad at me. And then he's like, but I want to say, I am sorry. I don't know about you, but when I saw that, I was like, okay, he's got some good trainers teaching them on how to take that sigh, that I am so sorry sigh. But I don't think he truly was. And I don't know. Because there are two words that he explained in there. The reason why I don't think he was necessarily sorry. He might be sorry that he got caught, but maybe not sorry that he got in trouble. And the word that he used 2 or 3 times was one word, and that was my selfishness. Did you catch that? He said my selfishness. Basically what he was saying is, I am sorry that I got caught. I am sorry that, you know what? I was not satisfied with my own life. I am sorry that I got in trouble and I lost all these millions of dollars, and I am sorry, and may I have that money back. And I think, David thinks, that he doesn't mean it. But I, David, could be completely wrong. But I think a certain way. And I want him to pay. And I want us to understand that this letter right here is the cause of 99.99999% of relation slips. Putting I into the picture of anything causes relation slips. Last night, or yesterday, was a Saturday, and I haven't had many days off. This church plant thing has gone on for about 9 months and everything since the time we got here, and I just wanted a day just to sit there and vegetate. I wanted to make my couch my life and allow my couch to morph around my body and say, this is my life. Look at the TV, play my TV, and just get rid of the kids for a little bit. I wanted the day off. But come to find out, my daughter had strep throat. So Rachel had a baby shower to go to. I had to take care of my child, but I did not want to take care of my child, but I had to take care of my child, or my relationship with my child would even struggle, and she would get even worse. I need to figure out that I, David, am a very selfish person. And we need to realize today that I, in the mix of any relationships, will destroy it and will cause relation slips. You can easily do this. You can easily take this and you can turn the I into a beautiful what? A ramp, or specifically a slide. If I called my kids in here and I said, hey, we're going to have a slide, all come out here and we're going to jump up on this chair and slide down my I slide, what do you think they would do? They would go, yeah, absolutely. Hey, we're going to go down the I slide. But as soon as they slide onto this piece of styrofoam, what would happen? It'll snap and break. It's not capable of holding up the pressure of the slip. I'm telling you what, today, this message is not very happy. Because this message, I can tell you, this whole last week has been the worst week of my life. It's just been nothing's bad happened. It's just that, oh man, why can't I get motivated? And I didn't really think that it's because I'm preaching on I. The devil does not want me to preach on I, because I think that you and your eyes are A-okay. They're not. Selfishness will destroy your relationships, which would cause a relation slip, and you, in your relation slip, will not be able to hold up the slip, because it'll fall and break, and you will land smack dab on your butt, and it will hurt. So I'm going to share simply two things. I'm going to share a story from the Bible, and I'm going to share a one kind of a important verse. But before we do, I need help. Frankie, Darren, come on up here. Come on, everybody, this is Frankie. Everybody say hi, Frankie.
Hi, Frankie.
Come on up here, Frankie. I need your help, all right? So this is kind of like an open dialogue type of thing. So Frankie, here's an I, here's a pen. And the question I'm going to ask everybody is this. What are some selfish things that are within relationships? So, all right, raise your hand. What are some selfish things within relationships? By the way, if you don't respond, this illustration will tank. By the way, what are some things in relationships? Money, okay? You're going to write money up there. What else? Hold on, what's that? Belongings, okay? You got belongings, what else?
Time.
Kids. All right, got kids. All right, who said what?
Time.
Time, absolutely. What are something from over here? Work, all right? Work is selfish within relationships. Oh, what else?
Remote control.
What's that?
Remote control.
The remote control. Absolutely. She is not allowed to touch the remote control. If she does, we're watching Oprah or something stupid like that. All right. Facebook. Facebook. We can put internet, Facebook. Okay. What are some more selfish things? See, there you go. You got it going on. What's that? Control in general. Okay, absolutely. I want control of my life. I don't care about anybody else in this relationship. What else?
Housework.
Housework. All right. That's good. Yeah. All right. Yes, ma'am. Drugs. Trust. Okay, trust. All right. I think drugs too. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm going to take some medicine. I'm going to zone out because I don't want to deal with the crap that's going on in relationships. Yes, ma'am.
Being judgmental.
I'm sorry?
Being judgmental.
Be judgmental. Good. What else?
Game systems.
Game systems. All right. Good. What else? What are some? Sex. Who said sex? All right, sex. Absolutely. I'm going to withhold myself because I don't want to. All right. What else? Come on. She's halfway done. We have to get to the bottom part of that. What else?
Spouse.
What's that? Spouse, okay. Play? Okay, yeah, I want to play my spouse. I don't want to play with my spouse, I want to play with the boys. Or friends, okay, good, absolutely. Forgiveness. All right. How does that play into it?
You are unable to forgive your spouse for something they do.
Good, very good. Exactly, good. What else?
Anger.
Anger, good. Okay, three more. One? Lies, okay. Two? Attitude. And three? Needs. Needs, is that what? Needs, okay? I want my needs. All right, good. We're going to get back to this in a second. So thank you, Frankie, so very much, darling. I appreciate it. All right, let's give Frankie a hand. She worked so hard and she spelled everything correctly, so that's great. Yeah. Compared to me. Okay, if you would, turn your Bibles to Joshua, which is in the very beginning of the Bible. All right, so, and we even did this. Joshua chapter 7, if you have a yellow Bible, it's on page 152 in your yellow Bibles. In other words, if you do not have a Bible, and there's a yellow Bible in front of you, that is your Bible to keep and take home if you don't have a Bible. But let me say this, please bring your own Bible. Alright? Because I want to encourage you sometimes to jot things down, write some things, circle some things, highlight some things, and that's not good if you do it in our Bibles. It's excellent if you do it in your own Bibles. Alright, Joshua chapter 7, and I'm going to share with you kind of like a little backstory a little bit. Here we go. You got it? Joshua chapter 7? You there? Alright, here's a backstory from chapters 5, 6, and so on. Joshua was the second leader under who? Moses. You got Moses, this awesome dude, Moses, who brought the people out of Egypt. Took them out of Egypt and wandered in the wilderness. Moses screwed up, the people screwed up, and did not have faith about going to the promised land. So they wandered in the wilderness for how many years? 40 years. They wandered in the wilderness for 40 years. All the adults basically died off. All the teenagers basically came up. And they were the next generation that was moving into the country, a promised land. But then there was Joshua. Moses died, and Joshua remained as the leader, the kind of general leader of the entire Israelite. So they crossed over this big river, and they crossed over, and they came to this city. This city was a massive city. This city was the city of what? Jericho. Thank you for answering. The city of Jericho. The very first city they came to was the city of Jericho. And this city was not one of these weak cities. They had huge walls that fortified the entire city. It was impossible to get into this city. So people might think. So here's Joshua. Joshua came to God and said, hey, are we supposed to take the city? God says yes, and God said basically check it out. Here's the strategy. I don't know about you, but if I was Joshua, I'd be like, hey God, just send out Sodom and Gomorrah type of thing to just nuke the city, and then we'll come in and we'll take care of it. But that's not what happened. God had kind of another freaky idea. So God said, Joshua, this is what I want you to do. I want you to take your troops every morning, get the ark, get your trumpet, and don't make a sound other than the trumpets. And you need to, each day for 6 days, wander around the city just one time and go back to camp. But then on the 7th day, you're going to wander around 7 times, and at the end, you're going to shout the battle cry and shout it out with everything you have. And at that time, I will give you the city. But there's one thing, Joshua, you need to tell your people. Do not touch or do not take anything that is devoted to me. In other words, the gold, silver, any precious things. Do not touch anything. Do not take for yourself, because the culture of that time, when they came into a city and they took it over, they took the wealth, the gold, everything, and gave it to whoever. Say if I'm this awesome, fierce fighter and everything, I just whoop up on some people and there's some gold, I will take it and put it into my back pocket. That is mine. That is plunder of the city. That's mine. This time, the first part, this is the first city, first fruits, if you want to say, of this city, God says it's mine. So take it and give it to the church, give it to the temple, give it to me as an offering to say thank you for whooping up on this city. You got a picture so far? So don't touch anything, wander around. I don't know about you, but if what's the biggest general in the military right now? Petraeus, is that who it is? Okay. So General Petraeus comes to President Obama and said, check it out. I had a word from God. And the word basically was, we're going to go around the city, whatever cities in Iraq or Pakistan or whatever. We're going to wander around the city for 6 days, but one day, and we're going to just go back to our camp, and we're just going to chill and eat bonbons and just say, hey, God, you got this. And then on the 7th day, we're going to go out and we're going to play rap music at the very end, and it's going to be awesome, and all the terrorists will fall down dead, and we will conquer the war on terror. I think President Obama would have looked at him and said, you are stupid. You have lost your mind. What on earth are you thinking? Let's get another general in here. You've had spent too much time in the sand or something. Something's wrong with you. And he would have said no. But Joshua's like, I've been to wars and everything. So you want us just to wander around and then shout, and then the city is ours. God's like, yes, but don't touch anything. It's mine. So, they did. They wandered around, all of a sudden, the 7th day, they shouted, and what happened? Remember the story? Walls came tumbling down. I mean, they shouted. It must have been a cool shout, but God just tore that city up. The people went into the city, and they whooped up and literally killed everybody, and they took the stuff and gave it to God. Gave it to God. Cool story, huh? Cool story. You're like, where does I come in? Let's read. All right, Joshua chapter 7. We'll start in verse 2. Now Joshua sent men from Jericho to Ai. Okay, so they came back from their camp. They were relaxed and everything. So here's this big, huge city, okay, that they just whooped up on, and God had control. And then there's this little city out of the distance called Ai. Ai was like the boonies. I mean, it was like nothing. I mean, nobody lived there. It's like, do you live in Ai? No, I really don't live in Ai. I don't want to live in Ai. I mean, this was one of the cities that nobody wanted to live in, kind of an outcast type of thing. Just a little podunk type of city. Now Joshua sent men from Jericho to Ai, which is near Beth-aven, east of Bethel, and told them, go up and spy out the region. So the men went up and spied out Ai. So in other words, it's like, hey, that's a good general, isn't it? Hey, go check out the little podunk city over there. Let me know what we need to do to whoop their tail. All right? So then it comes back. When they returned to Joshua, they said, not all the men have to go against Ai. Just send 2,000 or 3,000 men to take it. And do not weary all the people. In other words, they just had a battle. They just wandered around for 7 days around the city. They're tired, I guess. All right? So they just, and then they said, hey, don't worry, for only a few men are there. In other words, we'll just say a couple hundred. A couple hundred, maybe, probably less than that, live and warriors in the city. Hey, let's just take 2,000 or 3,000 men and let's whoop up on that city. Sounds like a great strategy to me, doesn't it? Sounds like a great strategy. And then here we go. In verse where am I at? Verse 5. No, I'm sorry. Go back up. Verse 3. When they returned, sent 2,000-3,000. Okay, we're verse 4. So about 3,000 men went up. All right, so they went against the city with 3,000 men. But they were routed by the men of Ai, who killed 36 of them. 36 Israelites were killed. And then it gets worse. They chased the Israelites, 3,000 of them. They chased the Israelites to the city gates as far as the stone quarries, which is a place with stones, I guess, and struck them down on the slopes. At this, the hearts of the people melted like water. Huge, huge conquest of Jericho. And then it happened. The podunk city of Ai whooped the tail. A couple hundred men whooped the tail of 3,000. 36 men died. I don't know about you, but I've been like, God, have you just given us Jericho? Or where are you? Where are you during this time? I thought you had our back. I thought all these situations would be okay. Where are you? Let's pause for a second and think practically. I think that's how some of us are in relationships. When you're in the midst of RelationSLIPS, you are, God, where are you? I mean, just we've been through some big ordeals. We've been through this. We've been through that. We've been through death in our family. We've been through whatever circumstance. We've been through the big stuff, God, but this small stuff is making our relationship slip. Where are you? Do you agree with me that, honestly, relationships, when it's even the small things, maybe it's a pair of underwear on the floor, or maybe it's leaving the cup out, it causes some sort of a relation slip, and you're like, what? It's a pair of underwear. Just tell me. This is not a real story, just an illustration, because I put my underwear away. Not really. But it's a pair of underwear. What on earth? Is something small? What's going on? Or you have an argument about your children or coworkers, whatever. Why is something so small whooping our tail? You with me so far? You with me? Something small causes RelationSLIPS so very easily. And it can go to all these. Like kids can be something small. Belongings. That's small, isn't it? I mean, belongings is something small. And then, let's say, Facebook. That's small, but it can become bigger. And the list goes on with small stuff. So Joshua's like, God, where are you? So he ripped off his clothes and he put ashes on him, basically a sign of humility, and said, God, what did we do wrong? I thought we did everything right. And God's like, there's sin in the camp. There's something going on in your camp, and we can use this as our relationship illustration. There's something going on with your city of relationship. There's sin there. There's something that's not right. And Joshua's like, okay, God, help me find the answer. Help me root out the problem so that we can take over this promised land as you had promised that you would. So Joshua said, God told Joshua, okay, this is what you're going to do. In the morning, you're going to get everybody up, and they're all going to get cleaned up. You're going to cleanse yourself. You're going to take a shower. Because you're going to present yourself to God, and He's going to weed out what is wrong. So he woke up in the morning, told all the people to do that, and try to imagine this. Just a huge research says like there's about 1 million or so people. So there are 1 million people, and here's Joshua, and God says, I'm going to weed them out, bring tribes first, then clans, then families, and then we'll get the individual families. So that's what happened. All these millions of people came and lined up, and Joshua, but God said, hey, it's that tribe there. So the tribe of Judah came, and the huge tribe of Judah, so everybody's like, woo, thank goodness, thank goodness. So it wasn't us. And then all of a sudden, God's like, it's this clan. So that specific clan came forward, and everybody else from Judah left except for that clan. All of a sudden, a specific family came out of that clan, and that clan came forward. So everybody else left. So it's that clan. And all of a sudden, God says, it is that person there. It's that person there that is causing your relation slips. In other words, it's that person there that caused the death of everything. It caused the death of 36 people, caused the result of not opening up on that city. I don't know about you, but I would like to be that guy. Millions of people looking at you. That's not very comforting. And then let's pick up in verse, I believe it's in verse 16. Oh, we already read that in verse 16. Let's go to verse 19. Verse 19. Then Joshua said to Achan. Achan was the guy. My son, give glory to the Lord, the God of Israel, and give him praise. Tell me what you have done, and do not hide it from me. Then Achan replied, I don't know about you, right there, I've been like, check it. I know you're about to get mad at me, so I am not going to admit to something. Pause, practical aspect within relationships. If you are caught doing something, do not continue to lie about it. If you are caught, or the truth is brought up, do not lie about it, because your lie will turn into lie, which honestly, sooner or later, will turn into truth in your mind because you've lied so much about it, and that will screw up your relationship even more. If you're caught, suck it up and say, I'm sorry, what can we do about it? How can we fix this situation? How can we fix this marriage? How can we fix this situation with our coworkers or families or whatever? If you're caught, don't lie. Just humble yourself. We'll talk about that in a second. Humble yourself and come forward and say, you're right. I got caught. Kind of like Tiger Woods. He's like, got caught. He's like, the world now knows. Millions of people know. Now it's time to... yeah, exactly. Read the teleprompter and take that big old sigh. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. Achan said, it is true. I have sinned against the Lord, the God of Israel. Who did he sin against? He didn't sin against God. So check it out. When you and I sin within a relationship, yes, you're sinning against your family, your children, your coworkers, or whatever, but you're sinning against a holy and just and gracious and loving God who loved you enough to send His Son to die for you. But you're like, I don't care, God. But Achan realized that his sin was against a righteous and holy God. Yes, he probably said, sorry, Joshua. I'm sorry, millions of people. I'm sorry for causing this. But he was sorry first to who? God. He was sorry to God and said, I'm sorry. This is what I have done. Okay, and here we go. You ready for this? All right. When what? I saw in the plunder a beautiful robe of Babylon. Let's see here. Games. Ooh, I saw some games that I wanted. Oh, I saw some things that I wanted to play with. Oh, I wanted to hang out with these friends. Oh, I saw these belongings that I wanted. Ooh, money. I saw that I could get more money with this. I saw the remote control. I saw the remote control, and I wanted the remote control. I saw, was that addiction or attitude? I saw the needs that I wanted. I saw that I wanted some sex, and I wanted to get it from someone that had not been through my wife. I wanted this. So here we go. All right, so you got that? So it says, when I saw the plunder, I saw this beautiful robe of Babylon, 200 shekels of silver, a wedge of gold that weighs 50 shekels. I what? I coveted. I wanted. I wanted. I saw it. I wanted. I did not think about anybody else. I wanted, so I what? Took. That's how relationships happen. I want. I said, screw everybody else. I want, so I took, and it caused a relation slip. Imagine the relation slip that we're about to talk about in a second. The whole nation of Israel saw him, and they were ticked at him. They were like, man, why did you do that? I mean, 36 people died. We could have just conquered that city and ate bonbons for a couple of days. I mean, we could have just relaxed, but now we have to clean and take a shower, and we have to do all this stuff to weed out you, Achan. All right, and then there are consequences. I coveted them and took them. They are hidden in the ground under my tent with the silver underneath. What did you notice about that little part of the passage? He knew he was. Was that? He knew he was wrong. He's like, I hid them. I hid them in the sand underneath my pillow, in my tent. In other words, there was sin in his family. There was sin underneath the roof of his house. And he knew he was wrong, and he dug them down, and he hid them. Now, just check it out. Do you think his intentions were possibly right? Maybe he was a poor family, and his intentions were like, check it out. I'm a poor family. I fought for Joshua. I fought for God. I want something for myself. Do you think his intentions were probably wrong? No, I don't think that they were wrong. His intentions were, I want to provide for my family. I see some nice stuff. I work my butt off for that stuff. So I deserve stuff. I think that applies to some of our work ethic. We work so that we get money to provide for my family. And all of a sudden you're having this fight with your spouse and fight with your children. And say, I've worked for this. I deserve a boat. I just deserve a new remote control. I deserve whatever because I have worked for it. Were the intentions wrong? No, I don't think his intentions were wrong. But when he disobeyed the God of creation that says don't do it, no matter if you have good intentions, it causes hurt and sin that comes into his life. Now here is the result of it. All right, you ready for this? We'll go down to... basically, Joshua went to the messenger and they brought the gold and everything to Joshua. Verse 24. Then Joshua, together with a little bit of Israel, what does it say? Here's 1 million people. Check it out. Okay, all right, just imagine 1 million people or so. So Joshua together with a bunch of Israel took Achan, son of Zerah, the silver, check it out, the silver, his belongings, the robe, is checked out, my pimped out clothes, the golden wedge, his what? Sons and daughters. Okay? He took his family. So here is all Achan's stuff, all the sin stuff, all his family. Okay, you got everything? Right? His cattle, basically everything he's worked for. Donkeys and sheep. Even his tent, his house. And all that he had to the valley of Achor. Okay, check it out. Everything. They picked up his underwear. He picked up his sandals. He picked up every little piece, everything that was under his house that had any association with him. You got that? Everything, including his children. When you are in a relationship, husbands and wives, I want you guys to listen. When you are in a relationship with your spouse, and if you're single in here, this will go with you too. when you're in a relationship with others and you have children and you are fighting because of something small or something big, it causes casualties. And you look at America today and there are casualties of children bombarded around this country. Children are being destroyed mentally and physically because of I aspects within relationships of husbands and wives. Husbands and wives, you are hurting your children more than you can even imagine when you're fighting, yelling at each other about small things. And next week we're going to be talking about communication within marriage and relationships. And I think that is another reason why eyes are so deadly. So there's casualties. So everything, okay, here we go. So everything was brought to the valley of Achor, and then Joshua said, "Why have you brought this trouble on us? The Lord will bring trouble on you today." And this is what the punishment was. Then all Israel, 1 million people, stoned him. That's a lot of stones. Imagine being standing right in front of all these millions of people around the valley and you're like, I will protect myself from this side, and then there's 500,000 people on this side who is pelting you with stones. And then all of a sudden you're dead because of stone. By the way, that's probably not the best way to die. Alright? So then Israel stoned him. And then after they had stoned the rest, in other words, they stoned their children too. And the donkeys and camels and all that stuff. Alright? They didn't just say, okay, he's dead, we'll leave him alone. They, what is it? Burned them. Over Achan they heaped a large pile of rocks, which remains to this day. The Lord turned from his fierce anger. I wonder, in our relationships, if the things that we want and we desire is worth RelationSLIPS. I really think that the reason why I did not have a great week, because I know that this is something we all struggle with. And Americans, listen. I will destroy America. I will destroy families. And that I is a word, selfishness. So you're like, okay, great. Thank you, Dave. Great story. Can I go eat now? I don't want to hear anything else. I want to give you something practical. A verse that practically helps you. You're like, okay, I'm a selfish person. Maybe you're the most selfish person in the world here. You need to hear this. Or maybe you're the least selfish. You have humility in your heart, but you're a little bit selfish in some aspect. Listen to what I'm about to share with you. A couple of verses that deals with the practical way on how to deal with I. You ready? All right. Turn to Philippians, which is in the back of the New Testament. Philippians. And did I put the verse up there? Or if you have a yellow Bible, tell me when you find Philippians. Philippians chapter 2. You guys with me? Man, I think I depressed everybody here. Well, here's something positive, I hope. Right.
8:15.
8:15. Thank you, Caleb. 8:15. Philippians 2, 3 through, really we're going to read through the rest. Here you go. You ready for this? This is how you deal with eyes. This is how you deal with selfishness. And it's this. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Do nothing for yourself. I want to get this idea. Yourself. Check this out, all right? You, the word you, I should have put this up here, but this just came to me last night. The word yourself. You got the word in your mind? All right? Yourself. You, if you take the self out of it, and you're left with what? Your. Okay? Or now take R out of it, so you're left with what? You. I think it's okay to take care of you, but as long as you take what out of the equation? No. What was it? Take self out of the equation. You're like, that's the same thing. No. It's not the same thing. Selfishness is what I want. It's greedy and it's prideful and it's what I want. It's not bad to take care of your needs. When selfishness comes into, it's taking care of your wants. If you yourself take care of self, you'll be left with taking care of you, but first, you need to take care of getting rid of self. It says, do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. And then how do you do this? But in, what's the word? Humility. Consider others better than, there's that word, yourself. Consider others better than yourself. And how do you do this? Each one of you should not, here we go, each one of you should not own, each one of you should look not only to your own interest, but also the interest of others. This is dangerous. And let's go through these. These are your ideas. Money. Can that be a very selfish thing? But if we remove self out of that, then you'll be able to have what? You'll be able to take care of yourself. You'll be able to take care of who? You. Alright? Drugs. That's so much easy way. And I am so selfish that I don't want to handle this, so I go to drugs. If you remove that selfish part out, you'll probably remove drugs. Belongings, work, remote control. I don't want to deal with that one. That's a difficult one for me. Alright. But kids. I mean, if you say, hey, I want to take care of my kids, it'll actually be take care of you because you're doing what is right. Your time, that's a difficult one. Facebook, control, trust, housework, I mean, you get the idea. I wasn't going to do this, but I think I'm going to do this to make a final illustration. We all have treasures. And these are two treasures that I came up with that kind of like Achan. We hide them for ourselves. These are two out of your list. It's interesting that you guys have already come up with the two. And the two inside our treasure box. And of course, all of this, whatever is in your hidden treasure, goes into this. But these are just two that many people deal with. The act of I. I and my what? Time. Do you think that this right here is a big reason why there's relationships or RelationSLIPS? Absolutely. I want more time for I. That's good. All right. And then the other one is what? Money. It's like I work my butt off to, I'm like me. I drive a school bus. I put up with teenagers in the morning and in the afternoon. And I'm like, man, I want to have a new plasma TV in my house. I want that. But I work to get money so that my family is taken care of and their needs are taken care of first. So yes, would I like a new plasma TV in my house? Absolutely. But I work for money so that my family is taken care of. Got it? All right, here we go. Was that? No, not chocolate, sorry. Or they'd be gone already. Okay, let me read this first and I'm going to illustrate what we need to do with our selfishness. You ready? All right, let me read the verse to you again, if I can find it. Okay, do nothing, by the way, this is on our memory card. Take this home and memorize it. 3 verses that you guys can memorize. Do nothing out of what? Selfish ambition or vain conceit, but in humility, consider others better than yourself. Each one of you should not look at your own interest, but the interest of others. And then it continues, your attitude should be like Christ Jesus. That is what you need to do to self. You need to destroy self. And you need to make sure, I need to put my flip-flops on. You need to destroy self. Listen, destroy self. If you come over and say, I'm not going to think about it, then I come over here and say, check this out. I'm going to destroy self. I came over and I destroyed it. You and I need to kill self. Kill self. Don't go back home and say, Dave said, kill myself. Kill self. Get rid of this. So check this out. I want to flip up on so I can illustrate this. The result, we got just two out of them all. The result of killing self is this. I can now pass up my time to other people. I can be more concerned with I, and I'm going to give my I to my beautiful wife. All right? And so on. You get the idea? And then your money, you can say, all right, check this out. I'm going to give my money away to help others, but I need to take care of my family, make sure there's no collapse in here. Okay, good. All right? So I'm going to give my money out. And you hear the excitement? Giving the money out. And within church world, it's like, hey, God's asked us to give to the church and to help further the kingdom within the church. And you're like, here, church, here, God, you can have this. And I keep the rest. There's a lot of needy people in this country, in the world, and we as Americans are so selfish. And we're like, these are for me. World famine, you can have that. It's kind of like this. One for God and for me. We need to kill self. If we kill self, the relationships will stay strong. I don't know about you, but I desire, and I can be a very selfish person. But we need to kill self. I'm out of breath. Here we go. I'm going to continue reading this. So how should we do this with God? Your attitude should be the same as in Christ Jesus, who, being in the very nature God, did not consider equality with God something to be grasped, but made himself everything. Is that right? He made himself nothing. Taking the very nature of a king. Is that right? What does it say? A servant. Being made in human likeness. By the way, I don't know why God would come and be a servant in human form, but he did. And being found in appearance as a man, he what? There's that word. Humbled himself and became obedient to death, even death on the cross. And the result of his humility and obedience was to follow him. Therefore, God exalted him to the highest place and gave him the name above every name. That name of Jesus, every knee should bow on heaven and earth and under the earth, and every tongue confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. The question is this: when you leave this place, are you going to think about self, or are you going to think about others? The question is, are you going to destroy self? I'm warning you. I'm going to give you a warning. Doing this is against everything America believes in and everything that our culture is about. But if you do, God's got your back. You want to mend relationships? Mend yourself by getting rid of self first, so that you'll be taken care of your needs. And then you can make a difference in the world and the relationships around you. So just think, where's your selfishness coming from? Maybe your selfishness right now is, you know what, I think I know better than God. Right? Forget God. You know what, I know how I'm going to get to heaven. I know about the afterlife. Go back to the eyes, I think that as long as I'm a good person, as long as I come to Catalyst Church, as long as I pray and read my Bible, I will be A-okay. And God will look at me and say, hey, you and your eye, you were a good eye, so you can come into my heaven. It's not how it works. Just as the verse said, is God sent Jesus to earth. He humbled himself. Jesus, God, came in the form of a human being. I know how my body is, and Jesus was about 30 years old, about how old I'm, like, what, 35 or so. I know how my body is sore, and it's like, man, I don't want Jesus to have this body, even if it is a beautiful body. But I don't want Jesus to have this body, but He humbled Himself. He came to this earth to die for you and for me. He humbled Himself. He was a servant and said, hey, you throwing these accusations at me that I've done this and that. I'm perfect. I'm flawless. Nothing I'm doing is wrong. But if you want to kill me, that's fine, because I came so that the eyes can be destroyed, so that I can give my life to everyone. And He died on the cross for you and for me. Talk about humility, even death on the cross. And all He says is, hey, do you admit that you're a sinner? Selfishness is a big sin. Do you admit that you're a sinner? Do you believe that Jesus Christ came and He died for you and for me? Do you believe that He humbled Himself and God sent this gift to us to die for me and to die for you? Do you believe that? I mean, not one of these, sure, Dave, I believe it. No. Do you believe it? Does it want to radically change your life? Then, all you have to do is ask and say, hey, check it out. I'm a sinner, I believe, and I just need some help to get rid of self. Bow your head and close your eyes for a second. I love each and every one of you in here. I really, really do. And I love to see lives change. But until you and I get rid of self, we will not be able to have this beautiful relationship with God. So the question is, first, do you have that relationship with God? If you were to die today, do you know that you would go to heaven? If not, it's as simple as this. Admitting that you're a sinner. Believing that Jesus Christ came and He did what He did for you and for me. And then praying. You say, hey God, there's no magic to the prayer. It's just simply saying, hey God, I need You. I believe in You and what You did for me, my selfishness. If you're in this room and you desire this relationship with God, then all you have to do is pray this prayer. I'm going to lead you through a prayer so you have an opportunity to do so. Not out loud, just to yourself. Say, dear Jesus, I am a sinner. Thank You for dying for me, my selfish me, and all the selfishness that I have done. I believe that You are who You said You are. I believe that You came and forgave me of all my sins. And help me to be selfless. If you're in this room and you pray that I really truly meant that, with nobody looking around at all, I want you to just raise your hand. If you pray that prayer really meant it. Awesome. Anybody else? Fantastic. Anybody else? That's great. Put your hands down. I would encourage you, if you pray that prayer, just to take that connection card, or we've already turned it in, but grab another connection card around you, put your name on it, and on the back say, I'm starting a new relationship with Christ. And hand it to the person at the information desk. Now for everyone else that's in here, you're a believer. Have you humbled yourself in the presence of God? Is there this sin that's in your life that's causing relation slips? I don't know, but what I do know, if you do, you need to destroy self. And by doing that, is first going to God and saying, I'm sorry. And asking God for help to destroy self. So, while Rachel sings and Rachel plays, I want to encourage you to get self out of you. This time is yours. I pray that you'll use it for its full advantage.